We are live. Cool. Take your seat. Hang on. I'm sending a thing to our flockers here.
Yes, send it to all members. Tell them to come on in. Preferably, I would like them to come in.
We're live. We can tell them to come in and do whatever we want. Welcome everybody.
I'll do it.
All right.
Welcome everyone to another exciting live edition of the Ravens Flock.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
It's
and this
me.
time we've got the total package right here, guys.
Fully defective, broken, and with a nice label that says "Made in China" stapled on my asshole.
I gotta say, man, we are so happy that you could be with us. I know that being in that bunker must have been crazy for you.
It was difficult, and let me be honest, trying to do the Shawshank Redemption thing and digging my way with a spoon, like 3 feet of dirt, very unpleasant. But
hello from the flock side.
it was long enough and time to show myself. Thank you all kindly for welcoming us here. It's good to be again with us.
Can say that we tried.
So,
we promise nothing. We deliver even less.
ZACK Gaspard here with the host of Los Amigos Play, Angel Mendez, and the host of the Black Files, Mr. Jukebox himself, Juan Rouse.
Don't call me Mr. Jukebox. Do me a
You're
favor,
right.
Angel. Can you close the door behind you?
Oh, sure thing.
Juancho, anything we say, you turn it into a song.
Not anything, just the things that I think would be the most entertaining for our live viewers.
Yes.
And of course, if you're first-time watchers, if you're first-time viewers of the Ravens Flock, thank you very much for joining us. We normally cover conventions. We normally interview guests and attendees, but we also discuss topics that are relevant to the geek community, such as yourselves and such as ourselves here. Please, we invite you to subscribe to us. If you're watching this on a mobile device, you'll see the subscribe bell here.
Stop pointing at my balls. It's getting weird, man.
And
Stop
of course, if you're going to join in on the live chat, you can join in. If you're on a desktop device, the live chat will be seen here.
Why are we pointing
or
at
if you're on a
Angel
mobile
again?
device, it's down here.
He's just gonna fuck with me. He's just gonna edit the chat on top of my body.
I did not bring him back so you could direct our attention to him.
No,
I
you're
might
supposed to
be-
be joining in with us on this. This is sort of the thing that we've been doing.
It has
This is a
been.
habit.
It has
It's a new
been.
pattern.
Admittedly, it's been quite a long time since I've been able to jump in an episode of the Ravens Vlog. Life and difficulties that come with that kept me very, very busy. The
It's
work
called
still
the
going.
coronavirus.
Well, yes, that and
The once upon a time in the streets of
the-
Fair Verona.
the times of scarcity have forced upon us the necessity for social distancing. But thankfully, we are immune to the virus because
Yes,
we are
indeed.
powered by our loved ones. Well, actually, anime characters, so that's how this whole shit works.
Exactly.
If you scream loud enough and you flex hard enough, you become immune to poison.
Pretty much.
Ask Luffy about it. He knows a thing or two.
I mean, I'd like to think I'm an anime character. You know?
The point is that we're not dead yet, so that means that we're safe enough to talk to you right now as it is.
Hells yeah! And speaking of which, I'm going to jump right into the first a bit of the episode.
And in case you can't tell, folks, we are uncensored, so we'll swear.
Yes.
And we'll jump in and do whatever the hell.
And
There
so
might be
please,
fleeting amounts of
let's start off with our first bit of geek news.
there have been announcements this week from not just cons but also different event theme parks here in Florida. First of all, an announcement was made earlier this week for our local Florida audience watching. From an official statement from the organizers of MetroCon, one of the most popular conventions in the state of Florida. They have issued a statement that they will be canceling this year's event and will be postponing until next year in July 2021.
May I read off the statement this time? Because
You may just
okay.
try not just take a breather whenever you.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best. Okay, Angel, since you weren't here on this one last week, what we wound up doing, I was doing this live with Casper doing us here. Basically, I've got this mental tick. It's where if I'm reading something aloud, I need to take a breath in between each sentence. The statement here that was given last week before the official decision had a lot of really long, almost run-on sentences, but they were broken with commas and stuff. But there was still like one sentence at a time. So I nearly wound up passing out from
Jesus.
completion.
All right,
But
let's do it safely.
hopefully,
Remember
we'll be able
your
to get through it.
remember your speech classes.
Yes, exactly. Enunciate. That's why I'm going to sit up.
It must come from your thorax.
There we go. All right,
No.
now go ahead and read
Okay.
off the official statement.
And if you don't believe me, folks, here is the. Hang on. Blah.
Here's the lens flare of a blurry ass phone image to remind you that we're
No, hang
completely
on.
right.
Just have them. They can Google it.
See. MetroCon is officially canceled for 2020. So there.
What he doesn't tell you is that the moment he looks at the phone, he's going to swipe into the Pornhub and it's just a reading comments.
Please. Pornhub, X videos for life.
Oh, anyways.
Are we going to have a problem in this podcast?
Not tonight.
Are we going to have problems today?
Hang
Not
on,
tonight.
hang on.
All right, go ahead.
Let him
Go ahead.
read it
Okay.
up.
All right, a message from Alex Craddock, Metrocon CEO. To say that I never ever thought I would write a message like this is an understatement. To say these are unprecedented times is a cliche. To say that this will be our new normal is untrue. But we do have to say something. It is with a heavy but compassionate heart that we have made the decision to cancel Metrocon 2020, scheduled previously for July 23rd to 26th, 2020, due to the continued concerns around COVID-19 and the impact the pandemic has had and will continue to have on the viability of large public events like ours. No worries, though. This isn't the end by any means. Metrocon 2021 is already booked and confirmed. More information on that will follow. I have tried to be nothing if not transparent over the years, and I feel that it is best that I can offer you in this situation. At the forefront of the decision process was what would be best for fans of the local community, as well as the event from a health and safety perspective, a financial perspective, and a Metrocon is something really important to a lot of people perspective. If you've been following our continuing updates, you've been following the story as quickly as I've written it, or in some cases, received it from the powers that be. At this time, COVID-19 continues to be a public health risk of gross proportions, and it is irresponsible for us to encourage not only patrons, but merchants, performers, voice actors, volunteers, and staff to put their health and safety on the line to make this event happen. Additionally, with attendance/capacity restrictions, a lack of confidence in the travel and public events industries in general from attendees, hesitation from merchants and celebrity guests alike, not only do we feel that there is no way we could bring you the quality you deserve from a Metrocon event.
Easy now.
But
Take a deep breath.
we could be in a position if we do move forward that we dig ourselves into a hole we can't climb out of and Metrocon goes away forever. God.
He's making some good points.
No, I can do this.
All right.
Don't you show
Have faith in him.
pity
He
on
can
me.
pull it off.
Don't you pity
If
me.
he dies, you get his shit.
By the way, have fun with my shit. It's all horrible.
Finish off the statement.
To avoid all these risks, I've made the decision with input from fans, vendors, artists, cast members, volunteers, city officials, medical professionals, department heads, and anyone else who is willing to share their voice with me.
Taxpayers, FBI agents, hack selectors, and my drug dealers.
Dude, we don't have drug dealers in Metrocon.
No, they do.
No, they don't. Oh, wait. That's what energy drinks are for.
Listen, man, at one point somebody took a shit on the third floor of the stairs. Drugs had to be involved.
Wrong
That
convention.
is a
No,
wrong con, dude.
wrong convention.
I choose to believe drugs were involved.
There's no drugs involved unless you count Monster energy drinks or
I mean,
Rockstar energy drinks.
Or balls.
Okay, Balls was awesome. Balls is awesome. That's the
it's
best energy
boomer
drink ever.
juice.
All right, go on.
Okay. I take the ultimate responsibility for a decision like this, but I hope you know that I've weighed this decision based on the needs and voices of the community, our community. These voices run as diverse as a spectrum as the fans that bring us together. Those who are new to conventions, those who were around at the first Metrocon, people who are immunocompromised or high risk, folks that make their living at conventions or moonlight as voice actors, people who care for family members that could be significantly affected by the virus, those who work their day jobs as healthcare workers, the people who publish the anime and games we lovingly consume.
Take it in,
All right.
take it in.
These are the
Don't read so
voices.
fast.
It's not a matter of reading in speed. It's reading in a single breath.
All right.
He's gonna
Speed
die.
isn't the problem.
If we don't hold him back, he's gonna die.
Breath is the problem.
He's pushing to the gate of death.
All right.
Only certain shinobi can reach that
All right,
level
let
of
me finish
power.
this shit, man. These are the voices that deserve to be considered and heard in a situation like this, and I've done my best to listen when they spoke. Ultimately, there's no decision in a situation like this that can please everyone, but I'm hopeful, confident even, that even if this is devastating or
What?
isn't what you were, that even if this is devastating or isn't what you think we should do, you understand where our decision comes from, and will continue to be a part of the Metrocon family when we return to 2021. My thanks to you all, to you as always, for your patience as we work through this process. It's been a bit of a roller coaster on our end, so I'm sure it has been on yours as well. We have a lot of information to convey, and we've tried to cover as much of it as we can below, as organized as we can make it. Thank you again, truly, for bringing this idea to life with me every year. We all know it's from closing ceremonies, the spirit of Metrocon never dies. This year, for the good of everyone, it just needs a brief rest. Stay safe, healthy, and loved. And he ends with a quote from Hayao Miyazaki. Yet, even amidst the hatred and carnage, life is still worth living. It is possible for wonderful encounters and beautiful things to exist. And under the quote from Hayao Miyazaki, for more information about refunds, logistics, 2021 Metrocon, and more, continue reading below. I'm not going to continue reading below. You read that. I need a ventilator. I need to breathe. I want
you all
you
to
know what?
breathe.
I will say this: you did better than the last time.
Juan's OS has somewhat limited capabilities due to his very old software. As a result, when he tries to do multiple things at once, like breathing and talking, he tends to lag a little bit. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. We'll upgrade him later. We're not going to upgrade this motherfucker. We'll upgrade him later. But for now, please bear with it. That being said, as we can see, the MetroCon cast has taken the hard, difficult decision of going, you know what? I don't want my congoers to die horribly. So I'm just going to shut this down. And
Thank you.
we predicted this was going to happen, didn't we? We predicted the last time we spoke about this in one of our little podcasts
It was only a matter of time.
that the most likely scenario would be that the big con was going to either try to push through with it, but most likely they were going to pack their bags and play it safe. And well, I would like to thank my thanks to the members and leaders of the con for taking the route that ensures the least amount of death possible.
Absolutely.
I want to see these people get themselves killed in really stupid ways, and going to the con just doesn't do it for me.
Dude, not cool.
Prove me
Angel's
wrong.
comments not
Prove me wrong.
Yes, the credit does go to Team Dynamite Productions for making the decision to hold off and taking a break this year until next year. And obviously, they're going to continue to update us on update all of us on refund policies and whatnot for 2021.
Yep, they've done with all sorts of different refund options. You can either get your money back, or you can roll it over into a next year ticket. What they did is they set up a Google Doc form in the MetroCon page for you to fill out. There's a deadline on it. I don't remember the deadline. Hang on. I probably searched. We've got a Google.
Yeah, while he's searching it.
While you're doing that, this kind of thing, I gotta be honest with you, it strikes me as the kind of preparedness that comes from, I don't know. Would it be wrong of me to say that it strikes me like they learned their lesson from previous years and essentially took steps to avoid this kind of problem with all those refund options?
That I can't comment on, but I will say this. I know that I made an earlier statement about how, big organizers and big businesses, they suck.
Okay. This is going to date us, but I don't care.
I'll finish my thought after he's done.
Sorry. All submissions for whether you're a vendor or whether you're a merchant or whether you're trying to get a refund on your tickets, all these have to be brought in no later than June 1st, 2020. So that's what, in a week from now?
Give or take, yeah.
A week from now.
Jeebus. So yeah, folks, if you
Today's
have
Saturday, right?
Today is Saturday the 23rd.
Thanks.
So yeah, that's 7, 8, 9 days from now. So if you have a ticket for MetroCon, if you want to try to get a refund, or if you want to try to get it to roll over, fill out the form on their page on metrocon.com, fill it out there. Also, if you're a merchant for Artist Alley or the dealer's room, same thing. There's a form for that as well.
You're a merc, we ain't got no snitches. Oh, wait, sorry, you mean my bad.
No, we're talking about merchants, not mercenaries.
Right.
So whatever you want to do it there and do it then and there. And if you have a hotel booked for the convention, they can't do jack shit about that. Deal with the hotel itself. Either reschedule or cancel.
Yeah.
But hey, they gave you time. You got a whole week. If you screw up beyond this point, that's on you, not on them. So for once, you don't get to blame the corporation if you fuck this one up.
However, the CEO did say that they were going to keep everyone updated on the MetroCon website. So chances are 50-50. They might issue an extension on all their procedures and whatnot. Again, this is a 50-50 thing. But going back to what I
don't go by what we say.
Don't quote us on that.
Remember, we are a combination of fact and opinion, and sometimes we get a little more than one than the other. So make your own decisions based on your personal judgment.
Yeah.
So we can avoid all responsibility when you get sued or something.
Now, gentlemen, there is a point that I'm trying to make. And
all right, get it across.
Juan. So a couple weeks ago, I did make a point about big businesses and organizers, and how they need to still, make a profit, make some sort of money.
Of course.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, the capitalist machine's got to move, man.
Yes. However, I would like to make a retraction because in this circumstance, when it comes to big money corporations, big money organizers, people behind organizing Dragon Con, for example, San Diego Comic-Con, these bigger conventions, they can afford to miss a year because they have enough revenue, they have enough money in their pockets right now to keep themselves afloat.
Smaller conventions like this week, we're supposed to have MusiCon.
Oh yeah, no, that's dead.
That got canceled. We had Florida Polycon. That got canceled. AFO and Omni Fandom Expo are rescheduled. Hopefully they'll get to go because they're later. They're after August and stuff. So they're like,
maybe by the end of the summer hurricane season, things might slow down a little. Maybe the hurricane season is the end of the Corona arc, and we can go back to like the World War III arc.
Yeah, but can we have a beach episode in between first, please?
That is the beach episode, the hurricane arc.
But you can have another. You can have another convention that's going on in July.
See, normal anime people get beach episodes. We get boss fights. That's our hurricane area.
Okay, no. Hold that thought. What the hell did you just say about having another convention happen in July?
Oh,
no, there was just MetroCon. That's the only one that's supposed to happen.
Oh, you don't know. I guess you don't know. I guess I'll share this. Tampa Bay Comic-Con has announced that they are going to go right ahead and host their convention weekend, which is scheduled a week before MetroCon was supposed to be held in July.
They're really wait.
These sacks of shit.
So they took advantage of the fact that MetroCon was wait. Did they announce this after MetroCon announced their cancellation?
On the same day.
Same day.
Wow. So they literally waited for MetroCon to make a decision, and then now they're trying to essentially slide into those DMs.
Exactly.
What do the DMs stand for again?
Oh, what's up?
What
Direct messages.
Oh, really? That's what that is?
Yes.
It's happening on July 10th through the 12th in the Tampa Convention Center in Tampa, Florida.
So they're essentially, are they at least trying to take some precautions, like limiting the number of guests?
You're gonna love this.
There has not been any.
No. You're gonna love this. I do actually remember reading this.
Oh Christ!
Get a load of this, folks. The organizers of Tampa Bay Comic-Con are going to, in the middle of July,
hottest month of the year,
they're going to do at-gate temperature checks.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they're going to check your temperature with a thermometer.
During the time of the year where the sun brings down its pure hatred upon our heads.
No one's going to get in.
In the state that is so close to the equator that we might as well be humping it. During hurricane season.
Yeah. For safety, because that's what we need to do.
Oh, that's amazing. That's like trying to check for burns while sticking your arm inside a furnace.
What other precautions did they announce?
That's it.
That's it?
They don't even bother limiting the number of guests or anything?
No.
Nothing. That's ridiculous.
Now, that strikes me as incredibly irresponsible, if you ask me.
Very irresponsible. Nobody's going to get in.
I don't think anybody will want
that's just it. They want as many people to get in as possible. What they don't care about is if you die. So, you can't have a convention if your convention attendees are dead.
That is absolutely irresponsible on the organizers of Tampa Bay Comic-Con.
Jesus Christ.
Let me stretch this to the almost limit. Let's just go for the most likely scenario. You get a bunch of people in there in the hot, warm humidity of July, in the middle of hurricane season, with the coronavirus flopping in on the side and basically shaking her hips like Shakira on a bender.
Yep.
So let's be generous and say that only 100 positive cases break out. If only
is more than necessary.
Okay, guys, it only has to happen. Only one person has to die, and this whole thing is going to go bad. Well, that's it. All you need is one legal suit. Actually, you know what? They don't even have to die. They just need to get sick.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to try to take legal action against it. And if somebody goes through, admittedly, there's a lot of what ifs here, but these what ifs are becoming increasingly likely lately because, the only two things in the world that are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. Point in case is, all it takes is one case of coronavirus to go bad and somebody willing enough and able enough, though depending how they end up, they might not be very able by the time they're done getting sick, to pursue legal action, and this whole thing is going to fall apart. Are you guys sure that's a good idea?
But guys, there's still going to be people that's going to go to Tampa Bay Comic-Con because, as much as I hate to say this, there are citizens out there who are not taking the situation seriously.
Oh, I don't doubt some dumbass is going to run in there desperate for content.
Don't you understand? We live in America. We are a country of freedom, and you can't lock us in our houses, and we've got rights. And the whole thing is a scam by the Democrats, and you can cure yourself by inhaling vapors from Clorox and from ammonia.
Just liquefy the manga and shove it down your
understand. God Emperor Trump is telling us if you just drink malaria medicine or medicine for lupus, then you'll be just fine.
Guys,
you'll be just fine. No, we just all have to eat 1 million pills of hydroxychloroquine and we'll be completely immune.
Don't complain about the product. Just consume product and get excited for the next product.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Isn't that the fucking argument that people are making? No. You've got to put people ahead of profits.
Yes. No. this is a good example. Tampa Bay Comic-Con, they can afford to miss a year. They do not need to go ahead with this convention. Hell, they didn't even bother making announcements of what other precautions they're going to do, unlike MegaCon Orlando, which, by the way, despite being held during Halloween weekend later on, they don't need to go on it. They don't need to go on ahead.
Guys,
what's up?
We had one beach that opened up.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of college students went in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beach.
Yeah.
There's plenty of water.
Yep.
So you can assume that people will not build up sweat and bacteria in their bodies from constantly jumping in the ocean. We still had several cases of positive corona happening. Do you really want to grab a bunch of cosplayers in stuffy, uncomfortable suits
who already
in a very confined space in the middle of July?
Who already have questionable hygiene issues. Don't forget,
we're still fighting conflict. Yeah, that's another thing.
Do you want to bring the confunk into this fucking soup?
But Angel, God Emperor Trump says it's a fraud.
All right.
Listen, buddy. I came from an actual communist country. I experienced what you stupid, overly qualified, incredibly privileged retards swimming in your perfectly comfortable sea of social media demand will replace capitalism. Yeah. Take it from somebody who actually has experienced the joys of seizing the means of production.
I agree.
There is a reason that despite all the troubles that this country have, I will never want to go back to my home. Your motherfuckers don't know what actual communism is. I have family members that lived through the fall of the USSR. We saw what happened when the revolution came to my beloved country, and suddenly a bunch of well-off Cubans got killed because they opposed the cause. Y'all dumb fucks don't know what happens if you bring communism into this country. You know what happens when communism gets to this country? Let me give you a little spiel. This will only take 5 minutes. Can I take 5 minutes of this?
Give us a
Here's 5 minutes. You will not lead the revolution. You are not the oppressed proletarian. You are middle class compared to the oppressed proletarian. You guys know who's going to lead the revolution?
Who?
Rednecks. Angry, uneducated, ignorant rednecks.
There's already protests.
When shit goes down, all those rednecks are going to grab their guns and they're going to make friends with all the gangs you think they're going to fight.
You got to remember that what state was it in where they had a rally about it, and they actually went into the state legislature.
I know
you had rednecks going in
with guns,
not just with guns, side by side, flying their freaking Dixies,
their
bars, whatever flag, the freaking Confederate flag, flying it right next to, shit you not, actual flag waving, card carrying Nazis.
Idiots.
Those are the
that
people
automatically
that will,
got you invalidated.
Those are the people that will lead your glorious communist revolution, and you are the people that are going to come to first because they hate you more than you could ever hope to hate them.
And
they hate you, your privilege, your open opinions, your acceptance of everything, and they hate the fact that your life is, believe it or not, a lot better than theirs is. So next thing you know, somebody's going to knock on your door, and Commander Cletus from the 13th Division is going to tell you that from now on, you only get one room to your house, and the rest of it is going to be occupied by the hobos because you got too much space. And next thing you know, you're going to get taken out the back, and you're going to get shot because you're not contributing enough to society.
Angel,
welcome to 1984. I hope you enjoy your stay.
I hate to cut you off, Angel. I know.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, okay. Because unfortunately, it doesn't stop there because there's also been news that Universal Orlando will be reopening on June 3rd.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. At this point,
damn it.
I just know people are going to run to their deaths. See, I don't. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine. Last week, we discussed how Universal Orlando reopened their City Walk at the limited capacity on, I believe it was on May 12th, the 13th. Thursday? Yes, on Thursday, May 12th, they reopened the City Walk to minimum capacity, to a limited capacity, and they actually did take precautions in practicing social distancing and having hand sanitizers and other precautions in place. And we talked about it. On one hand, it's still not a good idea to open anything, but on the other hand, they're opening at a limited capacity and they're taking special measures. So I speculated, I don't know if one agreed with me, that maybe this is some sort of test trial. Maybe that they were going to reopen it for a month and see how things pan out. And then the news break out that they're opening Universal Orlando on June 3rd. I'm like, okay, no, we're just going to go right ahead.
It's like there's a subconscious will that just decided, yeah, it's over now. And I'm like, people are dropping on the street. But it's over now.
Look,
no, it isn't.
We are approaching on a nationwide scale a death toll of almost 100,000 people.
Jesus Christ, Corona-chan.
I don't care if you want to talk about, they're not citizens or they're citizens. That's not the point.
Still dead
We're not
people.
talking about who's a U.S. citizen. We're talking about human lives.
Death
Thankfully-
is death.
Thankfully, the folks who run MetroCon, whatever issues they might have with us, I don't know if they have any issues with the Ravens
That's
these
beside the
days.
point.
Thankfully, we recognize they've got enough sense and enough foresight to recognize, okay, we don't want to be responsible for contributing to that flaming garbage pile that is the coronavirus situation. But apparently, only thing that Universal, Orlando, and Tampa Bay Comic-Con can see when they see this flaming garbage pile is, ooh, it's pretty bright.
The
It's so
warmth
bright.
throws me to it.
Here's what I would
They're
like
like
to
moths to a flame.
Here's what I would like to recommend, because these are organizers that can afford to miss out. Okay, they need to either cancel, issue a retraction of what they said,
Please.
or if they're really, really, really adamant in going forward, they need to, for Tampa Bay Comic-Con, they need to either announce that they will postpone their events until later on in the year during fall or winter season.
If you're as hot as shit as you claim you are, it doesn't matter what the time of the year you run. If you're forced to run later, what's
Or
wrong?
if they're going to continue to hold it in July, they need to do better than just temperature counts. They need to actually take measures to practice social distancing.
I disagree.
Why?
At this point, we can't ask them to do better. The fact that they made this decision, boss, means that they have already decided they are not going to do better. At this point, we cannot appeal to their better sense because they are not going to stop unless, something really bad happens. So instead, I would like us to appeal to the people that they want to attract. I would like to appeal to every single con goer, guest out there, or person who just wants to go to a con to just stay home. Let me put it this way. You guys know when a girl goes on Twitch and basically shows her tits and essentially sells herself?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the Twitch thought?
Yeah. I'm not going to blame the
Alinity.
Twitch thought for being a Twitch thought. In fact, hey.
Except Alinity, she a cunt.
Oh, yeah, shit. No, trust me. These are horrible people. But I'm not going to blame them for trying to make bank. You know who I'm going to blame?
Who?
Every single stupid simp that gives them money expecting to get something in return. If you don't give them money, they got nothing. Same thing here.
Not wrong about that.
Guys, don't simp for your con. They clearly don't have your best interest in mind, and they clearly want your money. Like, stay home, value your health, value your safety, value the safety of other people. Because if you get sick, it's no longer your problem. Now you are a walking, living hazard. Well, your PO was already a walking, living hazard. Now you're
Hashtag fight confunk.
Yeah, but no, phonies aside, it's very clear that our appeals are not going to go to the heads of cons. They are not listening. The fact they are doing this means that they are not listening to begin with. So I would like to implore to whatever voice is listening to us out there, just don't go until this whole thing has cleared up.
Don't.
Listen, man.
Save your money for next year.
I don't need to be a medical journal. You know what Corona does to you. It will fill your lungs with a gray sticky mucus. It will fuck up your central nervous system. It could do damage to your spine. And if you're a man, there's rumors that it might kill your balls. Do you want to lose your balls, man?
Do not lose your balls to Corona chance.
Please
Skip the con.
protect your testicular fortitude and just stay home.
Let's get past this summer. Let's see how the later cons are going to deal with AFO, Omni Fandom Expo, LumiCon. Let's see how these later conventions are going to pan out. If at that point we see some sort of progress of any kind,
Then we can
fingers
ease up a
crossed.
little
Then we can actually argue for probably attending these cons and support them. Because hell no, God knows, I'm starved for going to cons. I know you are too. And I know that you'd love to go.
I
to
miss
cons as well.
seeing the old familiar faces,
Of
but
course.
I will miss them more if they were dead.
Yeah,
Same.
Remember how they say death is easy because life is hard?
yeah.
You know what that means?
What?
There's an extension to that. You
No.
can hate someone enough to want them dead, but no matter how much you love someone, you can't bring them back to life.
You're right about that.
That's
So-
actually good. Yeah.
We ask to anybody out there, even if it's just one person who can hear the sound of my voice, mind your safety and the safety of others, and just don't go to cons right now. They
This is-
clearly don't give a shit about you, so just save your money for next year and go to another con, maybe one that actually listens to common sense.
This is actually the best time for nerds and attendees to actually save up their money for next year or for any projects that they
Lord
want
knows
to
we're all broke.
In this beautiful haiku that was published on Facebook last month, if I'm reading this correctly, it was published on
575,
April
right?
24th. Yes, 575 by Mayra Maram. there's a haiku that wins this entire argument. We isolate now, so when we gather again, no one is missing.
Couldn't put it better myself.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna put the lid on that.
Under the
subject for
cherry
now.
trees, we sit down, drink tea, and wish the best of luck to everybody. Now, please don't die, because if you do, I preserve the right to go to your funeral and laugh at you.
All right,
Yes,
well, we're gonna go ahead and drop that for now.
All right, so that's the end of that particular topic, I presume.
Yes, absolutely. Now we're moving on to the next part of the Ravens
you know
block
what?
here.
If it's all right with you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put our share link for this episode out to the public.
Please go.
Absolutely,
Anyone who
we
may
would
be
like
watching.
our listeners to actually jump in and actually share their opinions.
We're always willing to hear what you have to say,
And
if you have anything to say at all.
And if not,
Come on in.
and if not, you guys are free to leave your comments and questions during the thread. We will answer all of them while we're live.
Exactly. So there is the chat link for tonight's episode right here in the live replay comments. Like I said, if you're on a mobile device, you're going to find them here. If you're on a desktop device, you're going to find them
Hang on, Angel, duck.
here.
Duck. Right there.
Here.
There you go.
All right.
Please be aware that we are open-minded people. We accept constructive criticism, diverse in opinions, generous, mysterious donations of large monetary gains that may or may not have to do with drug deals. The point is, we're always open to you.
We don't take drug deals, but we'll take your drug money.
Dude, don't ruin this for me.
We'll take the drug money, but we won't take the drug deal. There's the
Can I take the drugs instead?
Why? Why take the drugs?
I
when
mean,
you
you
just have
can
money?
take the drugs, but I'll take the money.
The man has the right to drink, man.
All right.
All right.
Let's
But,
go ahead and get this rolling because
Yes.
we got another issue that we want to talk about. This is a little bit sadder. It's very somber, but you know
yes.
what? We're going to actually educate you on this. We're going to send you the videos for all of this once we're done so you can actually see
Think.
what we're talking about here.
This sounds like Wrestling Matters. Usually when you send me videos, wrestling is involved.
Yes, indeed it is. And this week, the world of professional wrestling's actually lost two people. One to a terrible tragedy that happened in Venice Beach, and another was a victim of cyberbullying that led to suicide.
Damn.
Yeah. Like we didn't put her name on here because it was kind of last minute. We're going to first discuss the passing of former WWE superstar Shad Gaspard. All right, you're gonna love this guy, Angel.
That
I'm gonna
name
tell you.
sounds amazing.
Shad Gaspard
Look
was
at that
part of
Shad.
no, not Chad. Shad.
Oh, with an S.
S-H-A-D. See, take a look at our ticker. See, Shad Gaspard. You see that, and it's moving along. Okay, Jose, show him all about Shad Gaspard. Show him what we've
Well,
seen.
I'll tell him about it. I'm trying to look up the other person who
passed away.
Who passed
today.
away. But Shad Gaspard was part of the WWE around the mid to late 2000s. He was part of a tag team along with another wrestler named JTG, and their team name was called Crime Time.
Seriously?
They were black dudes. They were brothers / friends / twins,
Crime Time.
and they were gangsta as hell.
Of course.
And they were great. They were great as
Okay.
an act.
Okay, let me put it this way. There's this one beautiful scene when they were having a rivalry with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions at the time named Deuce and Domino, who sounded like who had this gimmick of being like 1950s greaser style guys with slicker back and leather jackets and shit. They had this beautiful cherry Cadillac convertible, this beautiful red and white, like white seat, red tinted convertible, beautiful. After Deuce and Domino had won some random ass tag team match, these guys show up at where their car is parked. They're like, "Oh God, you better check this out. We're gonna take this down to Tampa. We're gonna take it to the Briscoe Brothers' auto body shop. We're gonna chop this thing for every cent it's worth. Okay, take a look at these ribs. We're gonna get $400 for these ribs. You see this beautiful steering wheel? We're gonna get $250 for this steering wheel. See these side mirrors? $50 a piece for each side.
Stalkery was too
It was
strong.
beautiful and it was wild. They're like, no, wait, why are we doing all that? Let's just get ourselves some big booty hoes over here riding the back. Let's just take this on a joyride.
Oh.
They ended their problem like, okay, no, check this out. Like the tinted chrome rims, $400. Side mirrors, $50 each. Beautiful all steel steering wheel, $250. Big booty hose on a Deuce and Domino's dime, priceless.
Oh, that stalkery was strong.
It was great. And outside of WWE, he also found success. He also wrestled in different promotions. And fun fact for all the nerds out there, he was also part of the motion capture work for Kratos for God of War 3.
No shit.
Shad Gaspard did the motion capture work.
I kid you not.
Bullshit. Look that
so
up.
cool.
I need to see it.
It's true.
Okay, I need to see it while you bring the.
That
Dude,
is amazing.
See, this guy, he was down for nerds. He was down for like everyone who ever worked with
no, boss. No, boss.
like everyone who ever worked with this guy was like, okay, he's big, scary looking black dude.
So TJ Styles.
Big. You mean TJ Storm? No, bigger than him.
Jesus. How do you get bigger than TJ Storm? That man is a mountain.
Show him how you get bigger than TJ Storm.
Remember that time we saw TJ? He walked towards us and his footsteps shook the ground like a goddamn T-Rex.
Yep, it's reported here on Wikipedia.com. 2018, Gaspard provided the motion capture for protagonist Kratos in the video game God of War.
Well, shit. Wait, 2018?
2018.
Huh.
2 years ago.
Wow.
So here is Shad Gaspard.
Wait. Hang on. Wait. All of you, stand the fuck still. Give me a second to look something up here because I want to check something.
That being said, so while we're looking that up, as
beautiful as his work has been, yeah.
That's the PS4 game.
Yeah.
He did the perk for boy.
He did the mocap work for boy.
Oh, that is so cool. He was great at that. Well, technically, that's God of War 4 if you want to get literal.
Right.
But, holy shit.
Sorry. But yeah, no.
The moment I saw the year, I'm like, wait a minute. This is a little too recent for God of War 3.
Oh, yeah, no. The man has had a success outside the ring. Like, he did well for himself.
And
I'm sensing a but.
Of course there's a but. We're talking about how this guy had passed away.
Oh, yeah. How did that
The reason for that is actually one of the reasons why we're asking people to stay the fuck home. The problem is he went with his son to the beach. Was what? Last week?
It was last week. They were at Venice. It was over in Venice Beach, California.
And they reopened the beach, and these guys were among some of the few who went out to go swimming. He took his kids with him. And he went out swimming with his son. But the problem is that Shad and his son were caught in a riptide.
Oh, hell.
So the lifeguards were trying to go and get them both. But I shit you not, dude. The last thing that Shad Gaspard was heard saying was, go save my son first. Help him first.
Damn.
And that, hearing about that was just a knife in the freaking chest because...
And yet it makes perfect sense. What good father wouldn't sacrifice himself for his child?
I know.
Hang on.
I know that feeling too well. The issue with that is that he was missing after the riptide had pulled him under. And folks had actually set up a search for him for what, 2 days?
For 2 to 3 days, they were searching for him. Yes.
And like even other pro wrestlers, former WWE superstar, the Masterpiece, Chris Masters, had tried to organize a couple other wrestling friends to go and search for him.
Yes.
Look up and when I send you what Chris Masters looks like, you'll see why they call him the Masterpiece. He's like a fucking physique of beauty.
Nice.
But the point is
God.
Kind of, yeah. But this guy was no, he's got to be alive out there. He's got to be out there somewhere. I don't care if the freaking Coast Guard called off the search. We got to find his ass. And just after they organized, the following morning was what? Tuesday or Wednesday morning?
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning is when his body had shown up on the beach.
Damn.
It was fucking heartbreaking, man. Like, here's the thing. I wasn't even that big on Crime Time in terms of their tag team action, but knowing that he was like a good guy even outside the ring and like learning about that stuff that he's done afterwards, I didn't even know that he did Kratos in God of War 4 until you brought it up tonight.
And here's another thing that we didn't know, and this is clearly close to the heart. On December 11th, 2016, Shad prevented an armed robbery of a gas station in Coral Springs, Florida, when he was approached by an intoxicated man who was intent on robbing the station. He shoved the man, took away his gun, and restrained him until the police arrived.
Wow.
This guy's a real fucking hero, man.
He was a real Greek hero. He did a dramatic place as a wrestler. He actually fought crime, and he lost his life sacrificing himself for his love. Wow, the man is an actual hero.
God.
You know what is a nice little bit of sad irony?
What?
In the third God of War game, Kratos technically ends the game by A, sacrificing himself for another one, and B, casting himself into the stormy sea. Looks like we have some foreshadowing that I'm meaning to.
Oh my goodness, that is too ironic.
Yeah,
and then following his death, there was also a fundraiser that has been established for his son, and a lot of known wrestling names have pitched in including CEO of All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan. He has contributed $10,000 to the fundraiser.
Good on him.
It's tragic. It's sad. It's bullshit. But all this sort of like brings us to mind, like these guys, these men and women who perform for us, who compete and entertain for us in professional wrestling. They're human beings. They're not just eye candy to oogle at. I don't care how boosty you see these chicks or how like brawny and like you want to fap to these dudes or whatever. Like they're human beings. They got lives. They're people who want to be normal fucking people outside of the ring, and you got to acknowledge them and respect them for that. You know what I'm saying?
They spend so much time in the ring being larger than life that every now and then we are reminded of how human they actually are. It's a sharp, painful contrast. Sometimes we are reminded in the worst way possible, like the fact that they are not immortal. Nonetheless, we send our sincerest condolences to his son and the rest of his family. And, well, I would like to say that at least one good thing came out of it, the fact that he did save his son. But that doesn't alleviate the fact that a very good man was taken from us a few days ago. And we here at the Ravens flock extend our sincerest condolences for the loss. He went like a real fucking G, though.
He went out like a real fucking G.
Like, I cannot help but to admire a man who knows he's not gonna make it and goes, fuck it, I might as well save someone. Let it be my son.
Now,
maximum respect out there in the heavens, man.
Now,
money,
the other
money, yeah,
money. Yeah.
God damn it!
Now, another wrestler.
He walked into the pearly gates going, "Where's my cash?"
Dude, your credit's good. Come on in.
Ah, sweet, thanks.
Like
now,
because I'm broke.
Now, the other, no, that's bad.
Sorry.
The other wrestler, the other performer who is gone from us, her name is Hana Kimura. She is not only a Japanese professional wrestler from the promotion Stardom Wrestling, but she was also part of a Japanese Netflix reality show.
Hana Kimura.
Yeah, Hana Kimura. Yes.
What you told me that the reason for her suicide was cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying.
Yes.
Cyberbullying and cyberstalking.
Oh,
she
Jesus
was only
Christ.
22 freaking years old, man.
The young are so impressionable.
You got to remember when it comes to Japanese culture, especially with your idols and the celebrities they have there. There's a reason why Satoshi Kon made a psychological horror out of that.
What's it called? Blue something?
Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue.
There's a reason.
Genuinely one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Also, check out his other work, Paranoia Agent, which also addresses several facets of Japanese society.
And it's freaking terrible, too. Like, we only just got like the information from it earlier today.
The Netflix show is called Terrace House, by the way.
Oh, God, Terry. Oh, God.
You watched the show?
That show is the most socially awkward shit in the world. It's amazing.
So you've seen her on the...
I seen her. I didn't realize that was her. I'm sorry. Okay, so for those of you who are somewhat uninformed, Japanese culture has this very bizarre subculture surrounding idols and famous people, where the fans are borderline goddamn psychopathic, and they have a very... mind you, these are a very small minority. I like to think the majority of Japanese fans are fairly normal people for Japanese standards, but there is some...
just kind of don't care. Like, you've got idol culture.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit. Let me put it this way. An idol can be the most famous, rich, beloved girl in Japan, but the moment she's seen done something not idol-like, she's liable to lose all her fans and her career because they must preserve the image of purity, the perfect, unattainable waifu. Yes, it sounds as stupid as you think it is. Basically, it's simping taken to the next level. The girl has to be perfect because the moment I find out that she had a boyfriend, then what the hell am I going to do with all this money and who am I going to give it to? Point in case, Perfect Blue is less of a horror movie and more of a very harsh look at a very disturbing sub-facet of Japanese society. I highly recommend to everybody who wants to get a little look to the other side of the land of the rising sun. It is very dark.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. And a lot of wrestlers have already tweeted extending their love for her, including Japanese wrestlers who are the WWE, NXT star Io Shirai and Raw star Kairi Sane. There are other wrestlers who are very close to her. There's been no official word as to like the cause of this.
There is.
Well, it's suicide, yes, but not specifically like the cause.
Mind you, cyberbullying right now and stalking seems to have been the main suspect, but this just happened recently, so we don't have anything to work with yet.
Yeah, no, and then this was a bit of concern on Friday after Kimura released a cryptic tweet that said, "I don't want to be a human anymore. It was a life I wanted to be loved." Thank you, everyone. I love you. Bye.
Okay, yeah, that was a problem right there. That
Another.
if that is
tweet
not
on
a
hers-
cry for help, I don't know what the hell it is.
Another tweet on hers is over here. Nearly 100 frank opinions every day. I couldn't deny they hurt me. Die. You are disgusting. You should disappear. I believed these things about myself more than they did. Thank you, Mother, for the gift of life. My whole life I wanted to be loved. Thank you to everyone who supported me. I love you all. I'm sorry for being weak. Goodbye. I love you. Have fun and live a long time. I'm sorry. Those were the last words that Hana Kimura had put up on her Twitter page.
Damn.
And her passing is shown to be from self-harm, like self-inflicted harm. We're not going to get into detail on that.
I'm going to assume wrists and blades were
Let's
involved.
not speculate. Let's not speculate because I don't want to know.
That's usually how it goes, man.
But it's kind of fucked up because, like I said, these are human beings. These are people with lives and feelings and emotions, and you got to treat them with respect. I get it. You love these characters. I got nothing but love and respect for guys like CM Punk, for guys like Mick Foley, for guys like fucking the late great Eddie Guerrero. But you don't see me trying to book a flight over to Long Island or to Chicago or to stalk his widow Vicky Guerrero in fucking Texas or whatever. Like, if I get closer, I'll get closer. No, fuck that sort of mentality. You got issues in the brain if you got that sort of mentality on you. You need to give people space. You got to give them respect. You got to give them humanity is what you got to fucking give people. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. Give them the respect. Give them the respect they deserve. All right. If you like them, that's great. I mean, we all need people to look up to, like stars. That's normal. But don't cross the line and do something inhumane. Like cyberbullying is still a thing, and it's
we're in 2020 and we're talking about this shit again, man.
Yeah,
talking about this shit still, Angel. What the fuck, man?
Because nothing has changed.
But these are performers who put themselves on the line every day. They think of the hours that they have to train just to put on a show for all of us, for all the fans.
Let me piece this together to sort of tie it in with what Angel was saying. You've got Japanese culture where you have society that's very sociologically and psychologically repressed.
Extremely so.
You're not supposed to show that you got any feelings or weakness. Take that with the sort of training dojos they have for men and for women in professional wrestling there. They actually live at the dojos. They actually train there. And she's 22 years old. That's considered a veteran, quote unquote, at that point. Because they start you off young and you got to go in there and they break you like they would a Moscow ballerina.
They got to reforce you into something worthy to step on that ring.
Take that fucking type of work ethic. Take that type of psychology as a society. Take those issues and pin them together with assholes on the internet. And this is a freaking breeding ground for disaster.
You know what the saddest thing is, though?
What?
I'm pretty sure that she had a good circle of friends, family, and acquaintances who truly care for her and loved her very much. And even that wasn't enough.
Because you can't express it. You can't really say it or do it.
The overabundance of all these negative tweets, negative messages.
You're expected to handle your problems yourself. Do not burden others with your issues. Tall poppy syndrome all over the place. Japan is a nice place to visit. Apparently, it's not so nice to live in. That being said, though, this seems to be a very common theme with suicide victims. You know, many of them have actual networks of friends and family to help them, but sometimes it's just not enough. The human psyche is like a finely spun statue of glass. It can shatter so very easily. And though it can be melted down and reforged just like real glass, some just cannot make it through the process. And that's honestly one of the things that makes us the saddest about suicide in general. You can get all the help in the world, and sometimes it's just not enough. Sometimes it's not enough, which is what causes frustration in one, because God damn it, you gave it your best and it still wasn't enough. That person still chose to go. And it hurts more than anything else because it instills upon you the feeling of absolute helplessness.
Yeah, and
the feeling of you might as well have not even tried.
And the people who fuel that fire, the people who send those...
Oh, no, they're complete fucking bastards. There's no denying that.
Bastards. They're responsible.
Now,
they're not denying the fact that they're huge pieces of shit.
Now, all of this actually brings me back to the Vice documentary series that's on Vice TV that's available on YouTube. It's the documentary series known as Dark Side of the Ring. They started last year. It's a beautifully well-produced documentary series about historic and controversial moments in the world of professional wrestling.
I believe you told me that Chris Jericho was one of the producers.
For this second season, yes. The first season was produced by the guys who put it together, but Chris Jericho helped produce the second one of the season finale they came out with was the tragic death in 1999 of Owen Hart.
Oh,
I believe
the younger brother of Bret the Hitman Hart.
I believe we told you about this guy.
It's been a while, to be fair, but yeah.
Long story short, Owen Hart, part of the famous Hart family of professional wrestling, Canadian wrestlers, like all around stand up guy. Like he's the guy who you would call if you have in case of emergency, you want this guy as your emergency contact. He will pick you up. He'll take his shirt off his back for you. He's that kind of dude. And the thing that they discussed was how he had passed away. He basically got set up with this gimmick that he started with in the WWF, where he was going as under a mask, calling himself the Blue Blazer, sort of like this parody superhero kind of guy with a big.
That
fluffy,
sounds like a parody superhero name.
A blue cape with a fluffy white trim, and he's a hero, telling kids take your vitamins, say your prayers, drink your milk, and parodying the Hulk Hogan stereotypes and stuff.
When it comes crashing down, and it hurts so bad.
All right, let's
fuck.
finish, please.
Okay, the thing is that Owen Hart was was gaining notoriety while the WWF was transitioning into what we know as the Attitude Era, the lewd and crude smash violence and
welcome to the 90s,
where the lines of good and evil are blurred.
With everything got all jagged and edgy, and everybody started wearing black for some reason.
And here you've got Owen Hart, who's sticking to trying to be either a solid good guy, or if he's part of a bad guy faction, a solid antagonist, but with reasonable goals and
the
stuff.
man who refused to heal, basically.
They told him to go ahead and return to being the Blue Blazer again as a parody one more time of how shticky and hokey that stuff is. And at the same time, they were also doing it as a joke to make fun of World Championship Wrestling's performer Sting. You know that at this time he was wearing the black and white face paint, looked like the Crow.
Yes.
He would come down in the black leather jacket with a black miniature baseball bat. He would come down with a suspending rig. He would drop down on a cable as a freaking superhero vigilante, dropping down from the rafters and beating the shit out of
the man. Didn't know of his dramatic entrances.
What they did with the Blue Blazer is they had him in a similar flying rig, and he would flap his cape down, but he would get tangled in his cables, and the bad guys would just beat him up and shit. So
it was meant to be a joke,
as a parody, as a rib on him, because how dare you not?
It was basically the Miracle Man with Brendan Fraser.
So every other time that he'd been in his harness, they had this high-end production company set him up with the most secure, snug harness, the safest, toughest cabling.
Mimicking an accident can easily turn into a real accident real quick.
What they wound up doing for the event that happened on the night that he passed is that instead of putting him on a proper suspension cable, they hooked him up to this weird weight release cable that's used for boat rigging.
Oh no!
As in, okay, imagine I'm the hook. Go ahead and try to place. Oh, I don't know. Let's say you're 230 pounds. Let's say you're.
Oh fuck!
The quick release hook is supposed to snap open with only 6 pounds of weight.
Jesus Christ! They basically set him up to die at that point. Holy
the sad thing about that was he fell from the top of the building, from the rafters, and he fell and landed on the outside edge of the ring. Not even in the middle. Flopped on the This is before his match got started, so the referee, Jim Corderas, was already in there. He believes that he heard, as Owen was going down, look out.
Jesus.
So just like Shad Gaspard, in his dying moments, he knew he was dead. He knew he was going out, and the only thing he could think of was trying to make sure he didn't hurt anyone else.
God damn. We're losing way too many heroes to WWE. Can we put these guys in an actual Marvel team or something?
This was all 20 years ago.
This was all 20 years ago, 1999.
Still, though, bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Oh, you think that's bullshit?
And Martha Hart,
Dr. Martha Hart,
Dr. Martha Hart,
the widow of Owen Hart. She
actually tried to take Vince McMahon, the CEO of WWE of WWF at the time, to court.
The fact that he's not in jail right now tells me that it didn't quite went out the way it was supposed to.
They reached a settlement.
They reached a settlement after there was some dirty bullshit happening with other members of the Hart family trying to take her court paperwork and show them to the company.
Jesus.
And they're like, okay, we're not going to be able to take these guys to court. They're not going to see a day in court. Just take the settlement. It's fine. And what she's done with that money, she's built the Owen Hart Foundation, basically informing kids and doing after school like programs to help other children and help other people or others who are like single mothers, just like she had been for a very long time. And as long as she lives, she's never going to allow Owen Hart to be memorized or inducted by the WWE.
So that's why she doesn't want him there, because they fucking killed him with their negligence.
Yes.
Jesus.
See, like you haven't watched this and you pieced all this shit together. You get it.
This is disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Every day I become more convinced that when the day comes when Vince McMahon finally stops draining the life energy out of people and begins to age and retires, he's just going to be victim of an unfortunate accident in the ring.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw this in a news clip. Didn't Vince McMahon once said in a news report a couple of years ago, around the 2000s or whatnot, that he would take no responsibility for the untimely deaths of any of the wrestlers?
No surprises there.
He said that.
He did say that.
We reached a point where you can take the entire main camp speech from Hitler and put it in his mouth. It still sounds natural. That motherfucker sleeps with a copy of Triumph of the Will under his pillow.
This is a black eye out of many black eyes that have stained the look of World Wrestling Entertainment, and Vince McMahon is not taking any responsibility for anything.
Because as long as there's enough money to throw in front of someone, you don't need to take responsibility. If I can shove enough of these pretty green papers in front of me, I am shielded from all harm. This motherfucker is an actual supervillain from like a comic book. He behaves like one. He certainly walks like one too.
Like, here's the fucking thing. Like, on the one hand, we get like when he's trying to work in business, like he knows when to take responsibility for something that he's producing. But when there's an accident, on the other hand, he like just like, nope, I didn't have anything to do with that. No,
Boy,
like, motherfucker, no. Here's the thing that bugs me, and I said it earlier here. Fuck you, Vince Russo, because the fucking guy who I told you about, Vince Russo, who is like one of the shittiest douches from like the writing side of WWE.
Yeah,
he was in charge of the writing staff when Owen Hart was forced to do the Blue Blazer shit again. So if you hadn't written him into this bullshit angle just to try to peg him down, like, oh, how dare you not do any of my crazy, edgy Jerry Springer-like storylines? We're gonna make you look as ridiculous as possible, so that if you try to look good or professional, people will just laugh at you. So that's sort of stupid thinking. The same stupid thinking that made a guy get his ass fucking killed here.
Yeah, someone died.
Like
there's no sugarcoating that. Some dude fell down and broke, and that's their fault.
Like,
but hey, it's okay.
Part,
just put a seat back on it.
The worst part, the worst part about that event, which happened, is that they continued on with the show instead
of course. I'm not even surprised at this point. Of course, they continue.
The crazy thing is, they could have
just fucking sweep the body under the goddamn mat.
Almost. They
God damn it! I was kidding. Holy shit!
They swept it over into a stretcher and wheeled him out in front of everyone.
How are any people left to even watch that show? If that happening, if I was there with a ticket and I saw that show, I'm like, okay, I'm turning this in and I'm never going to watch wrestling again. I'm fucking done.
Maybe.
What the fuck, man?
It took people actually seeing like the funeral procession for Owen Hart to realize, oh, this isn't a joke. This isn't.
Oh, he really fucking croaked.
Yeah. It's pretty bad, man.
All Greek tragedy has to end at some point, I suppose.
But like, I guess this is sort of Greek tragedy when it comes to Owen Hart, when it comes to the passing of Shad Gaspard, who had a good life outside of the WWF, who like, and also the tragedy of Hana Kimura, who her star was just beginning. She was just beginning to like get into that beautiful stratosphere of superstardom, but she got knocked down by assholes. Shad Gaspard went down by a force of fucking nature. That was the only thing that could kill him.
It took the ocean itself to bring him down.
And Owen Hart was the victim of the creative mishandlings of the WWF.
I suppose that we can get something out of this is not to forget that your stars are big, but sometimes a star is just a very big firework.
Yeah, before we move on to the next part, I would like us to take a moment of silence in memory and respect for Shad Gaspard, Hana Kimura, and Owen Hart.
Thank you very much for joining us in that moment of silence. Yes. Let's try and pick up the mood. We got half an hour left on our show.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try to pick this up with some crazy news. Come on, let's try to.
I got something for you.
All right, folks. All right. I've sent this to everyone on the Flock page. I want people to see this. We've put the invite out to you, folks. What is keeping you from joining in? What is keeping you from watching us?
It's Saturday. They're all in the clubs disobeying social distancing.
You know what?
Sex.
You know what? You can find me in the club, bottle full of buzz. Mama, I got what you need. You into getting drunk. I'm into having sex. I ain't into making love. So come and give me a hug, and you into getting drunk.
You got any more songs in there?
50 Cent. I love
She
you, man.
belongs in the streets.
Shady Aftermath. Yep.
Well, I know what could get people to actually hooked when we start talking about DC superheroes.
Oh boy.
Let's go ahead and do that. Yep. Let's go ahead.
All right. So
let's prelude this shit. Once upon a time, there was a man by the name of ZACK SNYDER. This man had a very controversial career making movies that were both very loved and very hated. But then, ZACK SNYDER discovered that he had an amazing power, an extraordinary ability born from studying the video game industry. This man could make his movies better by adding DLC to them. That's right, motherfuckers. We're getting the uncut, uncensored ZACK SNYDER cut of Justice League. I hope you're ready to see your favorite DC heroes come back and kick some ass and take some names. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't expecting this to happen.
I'm turning this.
None of us were expecting this to happen.
I honestly, I'll be the first to admit it. I didn't love the movie. I liked it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it per se. And for the critical reception and fan reception it received, I honestly never thought that it was gonna get enough steam to actually get this done. But, well, shit. I guess I got proven wrong.
I thought the movie was passable at best, to be honest.
Okay.
It's not the biggest toast to Zack Snyder's career.
Okay.
It's more like a shot glass.
I remember watching this with you guys in 2017 in the movie theaters.
Was it 2017 or
2017?
Wow, it's
2017.
been 3 years, dude.
Almost, yeah. Now, here's the friggin' problem that I had with the movie.
Oh boy.
We were watching it together. I was enjoying myself in the spectacle, but something about the plot, something about the pacing, something about the tone for the movie was making the back of my skull burn.
The puzzle piece
sensation?
fits, but the color is wrong.
Yeah, you know the feeling that you get when you're trying to figure something out and you don't know what it is, and you actually have that burning feeling in the back of your head, right at the base of your skull.
Right.
That I had for 2 and some odd hours throughout the whole time we were watching Justice League, and we saw it. And I know you guys had the review with our buddy JP Gagnon on the Black Files.
Yeah.
Hi JP, hope you're doing okay, dude.
Hey, what's up, JP?
And
Miss you lots, fam.
we can only imagine what JP's reaction is now that after almost 2.5 years of fans saying all this politicking and all this campaigning and angry trolling of, oh, this isn't the real version of Justice League, go ahead and
Release the Snyder Cut. Hashtag Snyder Cut for days.
Oh my
exactly.
goodness.
Like here, we put it down on our Chiron victory for release the Snyder Cut. But what about the toxic fans? And we're gonna get to that in a second.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Because it was announced earlier this week on a live stream viewing of what was it? Man of Steel, I believe.
Yes.
Zack and Dana Snyder, Superman himself, Henry Cavill, along with other fans who joined in on this big group viewing, this Zoom meeting of watching Man of Steel together. You know, it's like, well, like we want to do something about all this. We want to congratulate all our fans and help them out. What should we do? Henry Cavill wearing this adorable like blue tank top, his handlebar mustache, a backwards cap, and a gamer headset.
Yeah. Hang
Hang on. Do you know how to? Yeah, there you go. Here we go. Yeah.
Hey, Zach, I think you should tell them. You should show them. I should show them what? Go ahead and show them. I think you should. Well, I've got this one thing over here. He switches to his freaking desktop views. Like, I got this thing I could show you. Blam! A black and white image of Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max in 2021.
So there you have it. in the advent of the death of the theater industry right now, the movie theater industry, the good old-fashioned media revenue delivery devices are doing the rounds, and Mr. Snyder has decided to hang on to HBO to give us
Snyder, not Schneider.
Snyder, Snooper,
Sniper.
Like least like.
Yeah, it's like
Snyder.
saying sniper, except take the P out and put in a D.
Wesley Snipes is releasing the
God
copy
damn
of
it.
Justice League Tax Dodge Edition,
Dude.
featuring Dante from the Devil May
God
Cry
damn it.
series,
Oh my
Okay.
god.
with Funky Molding Cage and Knuckles,
And
a Hideo Kojima game,
Knuckles voiced by Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
with special presentation by Guillermo del Toro and Hayao Miyazaki, who was released from the cryogenic tank so he could retire and unretire one more time.
Written and produced and directed by Ryan Reynolds.
Presented by Platinum Games.
Jesus. No. Okay.
Okay, no, but for
basically-
real though,
Yeah.
we're getting we're getting the complete edition.
So what details do we know about the
All right.
Snyder
Here's
Cut?
what's up. Okay, just to give you a paraphrase of what's been happening for the past 2 years, if you don't follow this phenomenon of hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Everyone knows, who's been following this, that the Justice League movie that we got was completely retooled and reworked when Zack Snyder had to drop out of making Justice League due to a family tragedy, and Joss Whedon of the first two Avengers movies of Buffy and Firefly and Angel, and so he
What?
came in. Yeah, he made the show Angel. He made.
He's my dad.
He also
Buffy
directed the
Vampire
Avengers movie.
Right. So, point in
So-
cases.
Joss Whedon had come in and they told him, okay, we want you to finish this movie. We have millions of reels of stuff to film, and we need you to film new
Just
stuff.
splice all the footage together and try to make
Here's
it work.
$25 million. Go make a movie of this.
What
Also,
the
we want it to be lighter. We want it to be more Avenger-y.
What do you mean lighter? The entire color palette
Comedy.
is black
we want more
and black.
comedy.
Are you guys
We
sure?
want more comedy.
Are you guys sure my?
Make it funny. Make Bruce Wayne funny.
Are you sure my directing
Bring
style goes with
Henry
this?
Cavill in. What? No, it's okay. Bring Henry Cavill in as
But
Superman.
what about the mustache? That's not
Go,
gonna.
well, just CG it out. Just do it
Are,
in
are you
post.
sure?
$25 million.
You have
for
enough money
something.
to you have enough money to edit it out. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna try 1,000 hours in MS Paint.
Oh my
Actually,
god.
it might as well have been because they basically took the skin tone and
He looks so fucking mad. Superman looks
it's of no
like a
fault.
child who's just been denied his bottle of juice.
It's of no fault of his own, really. To be perfectly honest, like it's
No,
no fault of his own. Like I
Yeah.
like what they wound up doing in terms of some of the dialogue.
So,
It was some.
aka everything that Jason Momoa did and said.
Yeah.
Yes, Jason Momoa being Aquaman, getting to be his usual like Jason. It's like people say he doesn't know how to act.
It's like Will Smith as Deadshot. It's just Will Smith.
Like with
Yeah.
Jason Momoa, it's just Jason Momoa. But you know what? We like that about him.
I
He's a
choose to
fun guy.
believe that he swims in the Arctic waters and drinks a whole bottle of vodka every day for breakfast.
I agree.
And he hires the White Stripes to play his music, even though the White Stripes broke up.
He
plays-
brought them back together.
He brought
Yeah.
Jack and what's her face, Meg White together and put them together. Even though they got issues, they're gonna drum and guitar in the freaking cliffside as he swims.
Hey man, if the King of the Seas told me that, I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool.
She can't drum with a damn, but damn it if she ain't looking good in the eyes. That's
Well,
not the point. The point is
There were some good parts.
there were
to
some
the
good parts. You have some of the comedy between Ezra Miller's Flash and Ben Affleck as Batman. Some of the comedy,
hit or miss.
it's hit or miss on there.
Sometimes
You
the
even have
joke
some
lands.
memorable moments like that one time that Superman slow-moed and turned around and saw the Flash.
The
If
face
it took the whole speedster gag that we've
and
had in
just
X-Men
fucked with it.
and in Avengers, and it
If
just
I could
to
put
take
time in a book.
Oh.
Oh no, he put it first. Oh shit, fuck that. Oh, Jesus Christ. I love the look on his face. I love that part where Flash, I gotta be honest, that's generally my favorite part of the movie. When Flash tries to push Superman and Superman basically flex, he JoJo's at him and Flash is the one that goes flying. Like, don't even try. This fucker's got all of the, he has Royal Guard.
Right? Oh my god!
No.
like what wound up happening with it all is we see some cuts where you have Ben Affleck coming in. You see he's not really in his proper like the skin tone doesn't look
The
right.
bat
'cause he's
suit looks terrible in daylight, let's be
It
honest.
does.
and
Like in the dark, fucking great. In the light, it looks like a Michelin tire man.
also some of the lighting in the sequences looks wrong with the color correction that they did. You saw that they lit everyone for this steel gray and black background, which they retooled to be this fluorescent red background for the
Just
big
wash it
battle.
out
And
and light it up.
Makes sense. It doesn't make sense. But some of the stuff they had in there was kind of funny. It was kind of good. You see the shitty CG villain Steppenwolf, like I will reveal the ultimate truth and ultimate destruction
You know
upon
what?
this world.
Mother love me!
Anyways,
Papi Darkseid! Wait, I'm actually your
No,
uncle
it's-
from the
You
comics.
hear Superman in the background. I believe in truth.
And I also,
But I'm also a big fan of
justice. And I'm like, for that brief moment, the real
Real
Superman
Superman.
was there.
It's so much so that Joss Whedon actually put this John Williams Superman. I'm
like, okay, you
Like,
have
okay. It gave me the whole thing of like, okay, so our grimdark, sour Superman had to literally die for him to be reborn as a proper Superman. That's sort of bullshit. He should have been that proper Superman all along.
This is the
But
Superman we wanted 2 movies ago.
2 movies ago.
2 movies ago.
But we got it. And like we're getting it now, we'll be okay with it. And the fun thing is that Henry Cavill it's been revealed that he's been in talks in secret with Warner Brothers and with DC and saying, like, guys, I'm good to go. Just let's do something.
I'm on the bench,
I'm
coach.
willing
Put
to
me
do
in.
this. The only reason why he couldn't talk about it or do anything about coming back in the future or anything like that or say anything publicly is because he was still in talks with the studios.
Makes sense, but you gotta be honest, guys. Henry Cavill is, and do pardon me for respect to the previous Superman. some technical difficulties.
Oh, snap.
When did that message
Have we been
come
going
in?
on this whole time? No, because this has been blinking. I know what it is. The battery on this is dying. Thank you for pointing that out. Oh, God. Neen Hersag. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Hershey.
I just need to replace the batteries on our thing.
Thank you, Hershey. We appreciate your delicious chocolate taste.
Okay.
Wait.
It's all right. I'm going to go ahead and try and figure a way to fix that while we talk about what's left about the Snyder Cut here.
I hope we haven't been mute for the last hour or so.
No, we have not. We have not been mute because I know for a fact that we have had some audio here because we were freaking, what do you call it? Because I've been looking at us blinking over here.
May I add my own dose of news to the land of the DC Comics?
Yeah, by all means, go right ahead.
As you know, while the people rejoice at the realization that the industry listened to them and gave them what they wanted, the Snyder Cut, allow me to take a moment to laugh uproariously at every other company that shits on its own audience and gets its business properly sung.
Such as?
Every single company that basically made a movie shitting on its own fans.
Oh, yeah.
Eat shit. So, let's talk about Batwoman for a second.
Not.
We got about 5 or 6
Don't
minutes.
worry. This is going to
Let
this is
Angel
gonna be
indulge.
I'm trying to get to a different point, but you guys go ahead and talk about that while we still can.
This is going to be quick and brief. As you know,
Brief,
the
please.
series has reached the end of the first season to incredibly bad reviews from everybody because turns out nobody likes a show that tells you you're a bad person for the color of your skin. Nobody likes a show that props one gender by bringing down another. And nobody likes a show where the main character has acting so wooden the floor I'm standing on right now could express better emotions. So anyway, I just found out that Ruby Rose quit.
Okay, for the record, Ruby Rose wound up quitting for other reasons. She didn't.
I know, but it's pretty hilarious the fact that she quit. Just as the first season ends, she just leaves. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is for the best. Because let's be honest, guys. The best thing she ever did was last more
There
than
we go.
10 seconds against John
We
Wick.
should not have any power problems now, guys.
Remember a time when we thought that she was really cool because she was a silent assassin that managed to last more than 10 seconds against John Wick?
Yeah,
Who
and
clearly
she's good.
wants that ass.
No. For the record, Ruby Rose can be a good actress. She
Yeah.
can be she's clearly a good fighter, stunt fighter. She's an excellent performer, but she was
She's
given
not
shit
big.
to work on.
I'm just saying, dude, if you got 20 episodes and in 20 episodes you haven't learned to emote better, that's after a while you gotta stop blaming the script. Some of that is on her.
It's also direction, but that's not even the point here.
Yeah, point in
Like-
case is
Okay.
she quit just as the show ends, so now we're scrambling to see who will be the next Batwoman, and if the second season, if it ever shows up, will actually have some good acting. Because let me tell you, they took all the acting in the whole series and crammed it into one actress, the main antagonist, Alice, and they put too much into her because that girl is trying to act for the entire fucking staff. It's hilarious.
All right.
So anyway,
Okay.
Batwoman was the greatest comedy of the season.
All right.
All right,
Enough
Batwoman
about
has-
that woman.
For the record, Batwoman has nothing to do with anything with this whole Snyder Cut problem. but
DC
that's
Comics,
just a side.
fam.
Okay, but it does have to do with the shit that toxic fans have been dealing with. Even though, hang on, let me see your clip.
No, it's fine.
Is your light on? Okay, your light's on.
It is. I checked.
All right, so the problem that we've got now is, well, even in victory, even though the Snyder Cut has been released, it's been announced, it's going to happen, it's going to be made.
It's happening.
A reality. We still have asshole fans who are basically turning around and saying, "You were never behind it. You're a horrible, sexist, racist, homophobe, misogynist. You hate Zack Snyder and his true, wonderful vision who brings everything together. The DC, like, okay, I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder appreciates you coming to his defense, but motherfucker ain't inviting you for Christmas dinner at any time soon.
He's not gonna marry you, darling. Calm down.
Right.
He's already married, and his mistress is his wife, so that makes him married to the movies.
Bam.
Okay, no, but in all seriousness here, Zack Snyder really, like, he hasn't really done anything to, like, warrant a whole cult of psychotic fans who are just there to attack for him for no reason other than he's the greatest, his biggest, his number is so big, he's so powerful and
Too
strong,
stonk.
and his number is so big.
Zack Snyder is the Broly of the movie universe. Confirmed.
But at the end of the day, like, it's that fandom, like, area who doesn't know how to just accept the win. They just don't know how to accept the W here. They don't know how to accept a victory that they're just going to attack people. Like, oh, you never believed in the Snyder Cut. You never. No, I never said I don't believe in the Snyder Cut. I simply say I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see how, even if it doesn't exist right now, I don't think there's a way to do it. The studios won't let it happen.
But well, lo and behold,
And lo and behold, just this week.
to be fair, nobody was counting on a virus to sweep over the nation and essentially shut down the movie theater industry. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. That was a big factor. They got to make money and they got to find a new outlet to put their product. And after Chris Hemsworth made a fantastic movie that got a huge amount of pull, they're like, hey, if it worked for Marvel, it'll work for DC. And here we are. And of course, we would like to thank our thanks to those ever so illustrious internet journalists that keep claiming that this movie getting, basically the fans getting what they want, is a sign of toxicity triumphing and that we should have never had a voice on the internet.
Internet journalists.
Mr. Journalist, I would like to point out to the box office results for Sonic the Hedgehog, and I would like to politely ask you to take a roll of those bills, turn them into a nice dildo shape like Sonic the Hedgehog himself, and shove it off the deep, dark crevices of your journalistic bumhole.
Like the assholes like those, the psychotic cultists.
You clickbaity little bitch.
That's why what I added in the tag work here for tonight, I added a hashtag that our buddy Andy Signor, the Lord and ruler of the popcorn planet, had put out in just to fuck with these asshole fans. Instead of release the Snyder Cut, he's got a hashtag he created: reject the Snyder cult.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Not the cut, but the cult, the people who are feeding into the talk.
That's pretty good. I was hoping that he would do something like release an ultra cut, actually cut more parts out of the movie, make it 5 minutes long.
Yeah, no. For the people who are feeding into the Snyder cult,
the end,
including these internet journalists, I have only one message, and I don't need to say a word because actions speak louder.
Eat his whole ass.
Eat all of this.
Hey,
this
guys.
is a size 13, just like my boot.
Hey guys, question. What if the cut actually does the impossible and turns...
Hold on. We're trying to wrap up over here. Nin Hersang is over here saying, Marvel is make-believe fantasy. Why are you trying to apply logic to it?
Because I want consistency in my fantasy bullshit. Okay, you know how suspension of disbelief
works? DC more than Marvel. I don't hear anyone in Marvel Marvel fans saying release the whatever.
Well, that's because Marvel is actually successful. But I digress. Point in case is suspension of disbelief. There's a certain level of bullshit, and then beyond that level, you go, okay, hang on, this is just Deus Ex Machina. Okay, but here's my hopes, my desperate, fervent hopes. I really want this to be good. Compared to popular belief, we don't want this shit to fail, okay?
Why?
I did not want to hate Batman vs. Superman. I did not want to just like Justice League. I wanted to love it. It didn't work out for me. So I'm really hoping this does what it couldn't do before and actually gives me a nice product. I didn't want Captain Marvel to be boring as fuck, but hey, you know what? Samuel Jackson was still very charismatic. Point in case is, what if this 4-hour cut actually makes Steppenwolf an interesting villain?
We're just going to have to wait and find out.
That would be the most amazing accomplishment this movie could ever make. Make me give a shit about the bad guy. Either make me sympathize or make me hate him so much I cheer when he dies.
Again, we're just going to have to wait until it comes out next year, but right now we are out of time.
Damn it.
We have wrapped up this episode.
But I have so many stories to tell.
We'll tell them next week. Don't worry about it, man.
Jeez. I've got so many stories to tell.
It's okay.
As long as you remember to make love and not war, man.
Juan, plug us away, my friend.
Thank you very much for watching this week's live stream edition of the Ravens Flock. Please consider subscribing to us. Hit the notification bell below and hit the subscribe button. And, of course, comment and share this episode and these live stream with your friends. Also, consider supporting the Ravens Flock through our Teespring store. Teespring.com/store/the Ravens Flock. Enter the shipping promo code FSHIP 2020.
And free shipping and handling on all your purchased items.
I'm sorry, what's the promo code again?
The promo code is coming up.
2020.
FSHIT. Got it.
No, FSHIP. Take a look. It's right here.
It's right down here. Hang on. There's Teespring.com.
Teespring.com stores.
Free shipping promo code FSHIP
2020.
I'm sorry, all the asterisks make me feel like there's a swear in there somewhere.
All right. Well,
fucking ship!
Until next time, continue to follow us on Facebook.com/the Ravens Flock, Twitter.com/RavensFlock13, Instagram.com/the Ravens Flock online, home of the weekly live stream of the Wednesday Night War, our pro wrestling recap of AEW's Dynamite and WWE NXT. And of course, follow us here on YouTube.com/the Ravens Flock, home of the Black Files. Los Amigos play live every Saturday, 5:30 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Ravens Flock live, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
All right, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been another exciting live stream,
Bring it in, Angel.
Live edition of the Ravens Flock, and we are out.
Is manspreading T-posing for men?
Indeed, it is.
Ah.